Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome now. Thank you, teacher Ale, coordinador Ale, Jackie, Marifer, Andy, Jeremy, Jose Pech, teacher Jose. Thank you for being here. Joanna, hello. Fer, I was here. Anna, welcome. Okay, I'm going to start then. All right, welcome everyone. So please try to remember that the letter O in English, it's never going to sound O. For example, this word is not hot, should be hot. So the sound is saying O, but with your mouth wide open. Ah. The thing is that it doesn't sound natural for us because we are not native speakers. We are Mexicans, we are Latin people. So we tend to see an O and we say oh, but it's all right? Hot. For example, very easy. Hot dog, no hot dog, okay? If you're reading in Spanish, you will say hot dog, but the sound, the short sound of the letter O is hot dog, hot dog. And it happens the same with these two words. Don't, doesn't. You don't say don't, doesn't. Does, no, does. Is the short sound, sorry, yes, the short sound of the letter O. Don't, doesn't, does. You don't say don't, doesn't, dos. No hay dos. Dos, pues es el número dos en español. Uno, dos. Don't, doesn't, does. And please pay attention to this, you guys. This S here sound like Z, sound like a Z. That's what I told the groups yesterday. The S in English is S. So it's like you release some air from your mouth, S. And if you put your hand on your throat is not going to vibrate, S, S. If you do the Z sound, if you put your hand on your throat, it's going to vibrate. Z, Z. So I'm going to say this without sharing a screen. If you do the S sound and you put the hand on your throat, it's going to be S. So your throat is not going to vibrate. You can try it. You can try it at home. S. The Z, like a bee, como una abeja, is going to vibrate. Z, Z, okay? And they do it. If it sounds weird, I know, but they do it, okay? So here is don't, doesn't, and please remember that the S doesn't sound like an S. That's the tricky thing with English, that sometimes we see an S, but the pronunciation is like Z, like Zeta. Don't, doesn't, does. You don't say don't, doesn't, y dos. No. Don't, doesn't, does. I'm maybe exaggerating the sound now, but try to pay attention to your Netflix series, to your YouTube videos in English, the reels you watch on Facebook, Spotify, whatever you listen in English, pay attention because this applies to any accent, almost any accent. It doesn't matter if it's from, I don't know, Australia or the US. There are certain rules that are always followed, okay? And what I wrote here is that if you are speaking in negative form, try to not pronounce the T because that will make it sound maybe with more fluency, like I don't want, he doesn't like, they didn't tell me. You can omit the letter T, it's not obligatory, all right? So Z, remember, don't, doesn't, does. I'm not going to get into the O sound right now. I'm not going to explain. I just want you to remember that you don't say dos, you say does, doesn't, okay? Does, doesn't, don't. The only one that sounds different is the affirmative, do. The rest of them are does, doesn't, don't. So let's stop saying O because there's no O in English, it's ah, okay, ah. Please try to keep this in mind. This is going to help you to sound Well, more native. At the end of the day, the important here is that they understand you. All right, that's the whole thing, that they understand you. They understand what are you saying. So, okay, so remember these words, please. All right, try to keep this in mind when you're speaking or where you are listening to someone, some native speaker. Very good. Okay, some new people are coming. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Okay, if you have questions, please feel comfortable to write them on the chat box. All right. Hi, Teacher Pablo. Thank you for being here. All right, very good. Okay. Let's continue. So the next thing that we saw yesterday, maybe some of you were in the webinar yesterday. We are going to repeat the information, but you are still welcome. All right. Okay. So each time you see the suffix TURE, that sounds kind of weird. When my students are learning English, they get confused about how to pronounce this. So I want you to know that basically the pronunciation, it's like saying chur. Listen, future, chur. You don't have to worry about future, no. Future, furniture, adventure, nature, rupture, architecture, temperature, please don't read this E, picture, okay? And I also wrote the word culture because it's not at the end, it's not a suffix, but the pronunciation is pretty much the same. Cultural, culture, all right? Cultural, no cultural or cultural. So here we go again. If you see the suffix TURE, si ves ese sufijo, TURE, sufijo es que está al final, por eso se le llama así. Please don't feel stressed about it, okay? You basically have to say chur. Future, furniture, adventure, nature, picture, rupture, architecture, temperature, cultural. Anybody wants to read? Maybe a teacher can help me choosing one of your students. Maybe Teacher Jose, you can choose one.
Let's see, like anybody from the class? Okay, let's ask Valentina.
Teacher, why do you do this to me?
Come on, Vale, you can do it.
Ask for your extra points.
Yeah, I should have like extra points, right? Go on, teacher.
Okay, Vale, I hear you.
Which one? Like all the words?
Yeah, I would like you to try reading all the words. It's just, remember that you are learning, Vale, so it's okay to make mistakes. Just try to do the pronunciation chur at the end of each word.
Okay. Okay. Future, like furniture, adventure, nature, picture, cultural, well, this doesn't know. Rupture, architecture, and temperature.
Very good, excellent. So basically it's chur at the end, okay? I wrote something there. It says in British pronunciation, the R doesn't sound. I'm not an expert in British pronunciation, to be honest. I love it. It sounds pretty and elegant, but I haven't been a long time in Britain to like explain to you deeply that, but I do know that they tend to not pronounce the T, and I'm sure that you all guys have done the sound, make the sound. So in British, if you want to sound British, you can do it, of course, if you want. You don't pronounce the R, so it's going to sound ch. Future, furniture, adventure, nature, picture, rupture, architecture, temperature, all right? And it happens the same with many other words when it comes to British English. For example, they say car instead of car, or the one everyone knows. They say water or water instead of water. You know, so the R doesn't sound the most of the time. But what I want you to know today is that each time you see the suffix T-U-R-E, it's going to sound ch. Future, furniture, adventure, nature, picture, rupture, architecture, temperature. All right? So that's the second thing. So remember the first thing we saw today is don't, doesn't, does, and is the sound of z, of the B, z. I know it sounds weird. I know it's not natural for us, but we have to do it if you want to sound better. Especially if you are in a B2 or more, you have to try to make the effort. Okay, you have to sound less Mexican, let's say. All right, very good. The next thing I want to share with you today. Remember that can you write questions in the inbox chat. So this is very basic, but I just wanted to point out this. So the pronunciation for to say singular woman is correct. You can say woman. The most common mistake is when it comes to plural, because a lot of people and students, I used to do it as well. We tend to say it just as it is written, like woman. No, we say woman, woman. We all know at this point that this doesn't exist. We know that this doesn't exist. We know that the singular is woman, and we know the plural is the other one. But a lot of people don't pronounce this word correctly. So the correct form to pronounce it is not to say woman, but women. Women, women. The woman with the blonde hair, the women with the blonde hair. So I just want you to keep in mind, please, to not say woman. That doesn't exist. Women. Please check out the movies you see. By the way, you can say see when it comes to movies, if it's something that is in the past or in the future. But if you're doing it right now, it's preferably to say watching or watch. But maybe you have seen a movie, check the pronunciation is women. The famous movie, Pretty Woman, even the song Pretty Woman, no? But if you're going to say it in plural, please stop saying women, woman. The correct pronunciation is women, women. Okay, anybody wants to read the two sentences? Maybe teacher Mayra wants to choose one of her students to read these sentences.
Yes, Anna, please, can you help us? Go ahead, you can do it.
The woman with the blonde hair and the women with the blonde hair.
Perfect. The woman with the blonde hair, the women with the blonde hair. Thank you very much, Anna. So it's simple, but a lot of people say woman. Woman, women, women. Please keep that in mind. So if you don't have questions, I'm going to move forward. All right, this is another one. I don't know if we saw that last time, but anyway, I'm just going to say it. Very basic. Can anybody tell me the difference to say these two words? Not the teachers,
Yes.
the students.
Okay, this and this.
Can you
It's,
repeat it?
This. It's more
Very good.
long, the song.
Very good. Who spoke? I cannot see. Who spoke? ¿Quién habló?
Anthony.
Anthony.
Anthony. Thank you very much, Anthony. Exactly. So listen, please pay attention. Very good, Anthony. The first one is the short sound that we already saw last time. This. And is an S. It has air. This. There's no vibration in my throat. This. Now, the second one, it's a long sound, but the most important thing is that it has the Z sound. So it's not these, it's going to be these. These. All right. I am maybe exaggerating it, but if you pay attention, it sounds like that. This, these, z. This, these. So we have S and Z. This table, these tables. All right, so it's going to be S, this cell phone, these cell phones, okay? This pencil case, these pencil cases. This pen, okay, this pen is S, these pens, these. So the important is the short and long sound. One is with S and the other one is going to be with Z, Z, okay? And now that we are talking about that, I'm going to write you, you have these, cheese, no cheese, queso no es cheese, sino cheese. No es easy, easy. No es please, please. Japanese, Chinese. All these words have the Z sound. It's not an S. That's the tricky thing with English, that you may see an S, but it's pronounced as Z. Another one, busy, busy, busy. A very simple one, you guys, is, no es is, was. Now, the thing here is that there's no like a general rule that I can say, oh, always U and S are going to be Z. Oh, no. But what I can tell you that it might help you is that very, very, very often, when you have vowel, that's what I told the other group, S vowel very often is going to convert into a Z sound. And it's what we have here. Listen, pay attention. Please pay attention to this. Basically, here we have vowel as vowel, vowel as vowel, vowel as vowel, and the same here, and the same here, and the same here, and the same here. And it doesn't have to be at the end of the word, by the way. For example, here is not at the end, and we apply the same rule. Check it out. President, president. No es president, no es una S, es T, es Z, perdón. President, president. That's the strict pronunciation. No es season, sino season, season. How do you know this? How can you learn this? Is with practice. And keep in mind this tip of vowel as vowel. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. So if you pay attention to your listenings, to your books, to the movies and songs, you're going to, or the reels you watch in English, if you like to be on TikTok as well, follow people who speak native English, that are native speakers, and you'll notice this. These, cheese, easy, please, Japanese, Chinese, busy, is, was, president, season. Now, what people often say is, this, cheese, easy, please, Japanese, Chinese, busy, is, was, president, season. And again, this is not for us to go and be correcting everyone, okay? This is for you to speak better, to be understood better. That's the whole point, because at the level you are, we should try to not make these mistakes, okay? And I must say that it's difficult. When I'm speaking English and I listen to myself again, I listen all the mistakes I made because my brain is not used to this, but we have to try. So remember that tip that it can help you. Vowel as vowel. And if you just are uncertain about the pronunciation, go to the Cambridge Dictionary and you will see it. What I don't recommend you is to try to be aware of every single detail of every word. Is going to be too much. So it's with time and with practice. But at least today, you know it. You know this right now. So try the teacher Jose Teacher Mayra, Teacher Fer, Teacher Pablo are here, and Teacher Arlet, and now they know you know. So please try to avoid these mistakes, okay? Very good. So just to review, remember the sound of the short O, don't, doesn't, does, and is an S as well. Does, doesn't, is a Z sound, okay? Even if you have an S. Remember the suffix TURE is going to sound like chur. Future, furniture, adventure, nature, picture, rupture, architecture, temperature, and there are so many others. Chur. Culture will be another one. Culture, that is actually written, well, exactly the same. Culture. And if you want to sound British, you don't say the R. Future, furniture, adventure, nature, picture, rupture, architecture, temperature, culture. Very good. Yes, yes.
Sorry. The water is struggle on me a little bit in British accent. It's cultural. I don't know how to pronounce in British.
Well, in British, that one, I guess it will be cultural, but I'm not applying the rule, please, because this rule of the R is when the R is at the end. That's why in cultural, well, we can look at it actually. That's why I'm not applying the rule, because what I told you about the R is when it's at the end, like culture, rupture, all right? But we can check it. Good question. Thank you. So each time I have a doubt, because I always have questions as you guys, I check the Cambridge Dictionary. I highly recommend you to use it. I'm going to put it here. There is an app and there are so many others, but I like this one. So listen, please. We are going to listen in the US and also in the UK. And the little things you see here, I told you last times, are the phonemes. They're supposed to be helping us, but they don't always do. Okay.
Culture.
That's the British culture. Maybe it doesn't sound the R.
Culture.
Culture. Culture. Let's hear the US.
Culture.
It sounds a little bit more. Culture.
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 All right. So basically in the US, they tend to pronounce a lot the R. Okay. So please try to, I don't know if I answer your question, please. I hope I did.
I clearly understand the cultural culture.
Ah, yes, you say cultural. I'm sorry. Yes, good question. Sorry. Yes. So let's hear it, because I don't know. So cultural in the UK.
Cultural.
Cultural in the US.
Cultural.
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 So the difference here, please, good question, is at the end of the syllable. One, the A is pronounced cultural, and in the other one, barely sounds the A, cultural. I'm going to play it again. Please listen, you guys.
Cultural.
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 So one sounds cultural and the other one cultural. In the other one, in the US, the RAL sounds more.
Cultural.
Cultural.
I don't know if I answered your question, please.
UK is from British.
Okay, yes. Well, the British is always a little bit more difficult, but for me, because I haven't been living in Britain. But if you maybe go for a year, it will be natural for you. Okay. And remember this one, you say woman, and that's fine, but please don't say woman. Women. The woman with the blonde hair, the women with the blonde hair. And finally, we have this and these. And remember the tip. The tip is vowel as vowel is Z. I said to you, cheese. I also said, please. Because if you say please, is súplica. Easy, Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, busy, is, was, president season. It's not always at the end. It can be in the middle as president season, okay? So far, if you have questions, please let me know. Anybody from your group, Teacher Fair, wants to read this? Is Teacher Fair here? I'm confused. Teacher, who was here? Teacher Arlette, please choose someone from your group.
Okay, Janet.
Janet, you have to try to exaggerate it, okay? You have to try to sound zzz, even if it sounds weird, please.
This, cheese, easy, please, Japanese, Chinese, bossy, is, was, president, season.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Janet. Please try to pronounce. It's okay. It was okay. All right. Let's just try to pronounce more like z. It has to vibrate on your mouth. All right. Z. All right. Very good. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Frank, can you read them?
So I'll just try to exaggerate it, right?
Please. Now, yes.
Okay. These, cheese, easy, please, Japanese, Chinese, busy, is, was, president, season. Like that?
Perfect. I really like your was.
Thank
Excellent. So listen, you are going to feel maybe a little bit silly because we don't talk like that. But with time, it will become natural for you. Okay, that's the whole point. Look, it's like when you have your first English class, and what did you used to say in your first English class? Even if you're 30 or 12 years old, you're going to say, hello, my name is Elisa. I like pink color, and my favorite food is pizza. Like a robot, and then comes natural. So it's the same with all this I'm telling you, okay? With time, it will become natural. Very good. Thanks a lot, you guys. Okay, so the last thing for today, we are going to finish in 5 minutes, I promise. I'm going to read this and then one of you will. So the point here is to notice this. These, okay? This time, I would like to talk about my clothes. For example, these yellow shoes. Ya vimos esto, no hay yellow. Yellow shoes are my favorite ones because they're so comfortable. On the other hand, these red heels look very sexy. About dresses, I was very into wearing dresses when I was younger. Nowadays, I prefer only one dress. This one, it's black. También ya vimos esto que no se dice it. But I prefer to wear, no me digan wear, to wear these jeans and this cotton shirt for my daily life. Just to point out, you can say cotton, British. In the US, I believe they say cotton. In British, I think it sounds cotton, maybe. And maybe also can sound cotton. All right. Anybody wants to read? Thanks to you, Priscilla. Thank you. Thanks, Enrique. Anybody wants to read the paragraph? Teacher Abril, maybe you can choose someone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Leo wants to read.
Okay, Leo, exaggerate it, please.
Okay. This time I would like to talk about my clothes. For example, these yellow shorts are my favorite ones because they're so comfortable. On the other hand, these red heels look very sexy. About dresses, I was very into wearing dresses. Honestly, I was very into wearing dresses when I was younger. Nowadays, I prefer only one dress. This one, it's black, but I prefer to wear these jeans and this cotton shirt for my daily life.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Very good reading. Thanks a lot. So The point is that we have to say this and these to speak correctly. Let's not think about an advanced level to speak correctly, all right? To say this, these. Very good. And well, I know you know this, but it's favorite instead of favorite and comfortable instead of comfortable. Maybe someone could say comfortable, I'm not sure. Anyway, so this is the last point I wanted to show you. And before leaving, I think last time, if you were at the webinar last time, we talked about Sofia Vergara, and her English is very Latin. Like she doesn't care. It's like Salma Hayek. She doesn't care about the pronunciation, really. So there's another one that I told you, okay, that speaks very good English, is Eiza Gonzalez. She's Mexican, actually. And if you listen to her, you will see that she says was, these. She used a lot the sound z, z, all right? A lot. And also, her English is very good. So I just want you.
So I have this flip phone.
Sorry, I want you to listen to this video, and we're going maybe to pause it a little bit so that I can show you why I think her English is very good. So let's listen. It's not that long. I think it's a Reels. That's why you're gonna see it like this. Okay, let's play it. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I don't think so.
Because I was texting with this guy. So that was the one thing I got in LA. Had a hot boy.
Well,
so I was.
That's the first thing. She didn't say hot. She said hot. A hot.
In a bridal shoot. This is wild. I was in the middle of a bridal.
In the middle. I was.
Shoot and you know, big dresses. Grabbed my stuff and then I looked at them and they're like, I go, how much do I owe you? And everyone's like, what do you mean?
She say, how much do I owe you? She doesn't say you.
And I go, do I have a tab? And they're like, it's for free.
It's for free, not it's.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh my God, let me take it all. Secondary checkups for everyone that is not American.
That is not American instead of that is not American.
I see.
We're always there.
For every.
Okay, we're going to listen to it again.
Being an American. So I had this flip phone because I was texting with this guy. So that was the one thing I got in LA. Had a hot boy. So I was in a bridal shoot. This is wild. I was in the middle of a bridal shoot and, you know, big dresses.
Big instead of big.
My stuff. And then I looked at them and they're like, I go, how much do I owe you? And everyone's like, what do you mean? And I go, do I have a tab? And they're like, it's for free.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh my God, let me take it all. Secondary checkups for everyone that is not American.
I see.
We're always there.
For every.
Okay, so you can watch a lot of videos about Eiza Gonzalez, and you can write on YouTube or maybe on TikTok, like Eiza Gonzalez Great English, and it's kind of viral right now because she pronounces very well the Z and makes the difference between that and the S. That's what I want you guys try to do. So you can check slowly and with practice, pay attention to what you see. Honestly, I have never sit down and learn 100 words. It's just with the practice and how much you are embracing the language and practicing it every day and paying attention to the movies and songs. That's the best way to learn sometimes. Of course, you have to memorize, but I think it's the other way. For me, it's easier, it's better. So I hope this was useful for you. I think that's the last thing I wanted to show you before leaving. So if anybody has more questions, you can just write them in the chat box. And we are going, anyway, you can check the first webinar and on YouTube. And I explain another tips that can help you. Remember, I'm going to say it again. This is not for us to go and correct everyone, all right? It's just for us to go and apply it to ourselves. I'm going to leave you the link there of our YouTube channel and try to use all of this that you learned today in your classes, because now you teachers know that you took it, the webinar. So in your oral exams, try to not make these mistakes because are very common, to be honest, are very, very common. And nobody explains this to us. Like, this is not even, I think, in a few years ago when you were studying to be an English teacher, we didn't have phonetic lessons like that. So you have to go into it by yourself. So I hope this was useful. The first webinar, I think you took it, Pris. I think it's about the pronunciation of the Y and J, the short I and the long I, but you can check it out. You can check it out. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, teachers, for being here. So I hope you learned during these 40 minutes, and we'll see you maybe at the end of June for the third webinar we have. All right. Yes, you should watch it, Pris. You should watch it. Everyone should check it out. Thank you so much, Leo, Jeremy, Miriam, Samantha, Tania. Thank you for being here. Teacher Pablo, Ale Ramos. Have a good evening. Yes, Priscilla.
I think you didn't understand me. What about the TV show?
I didn't understand, sorry, about the first webinar?
No, the TV show, what's about?
About the video I showed?
No, never mind.
What show?
I'll look for it. The Modern Family. But
Yes, the video of the Modern Family. It used to be on Netflix, please, but I don't know if it's it right now.
It's in Star Plus.
Oh no, but it's on Netflix
right there.
Yes, it's on Netflix also, and it's very good because Sofia Vergara doesn't care about her pronunciation, and it's very funny.
But independently about the pronunciations, what is it?
The one I showed you.
The about the show.
Yes, let me give you the link.
Right. Seasons.
It's the one I showed you last time, right?
Yes.
Yes, about feel and feel. Very good. I'm going to leave it to you here, please. It's on the website. If you click that link, you're going to see the sketch that I show you. All right. Okay. Very good.
The trailer.
The trailer.
What?
No, I don't know about the trailer, but that is about the pronunciation. I don't know. You guys, if you can put the thumbs up. Did I show you that video? Yes, we watch it, right? About Sofia Vergara. Did we? Can you do this if we did?
What?
Or we did? You guys in the class, did we watch it? No? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Okay, that's good. Listen, this is a 10-second video, and it shows how if you don't pronounce well, the person can understand something completely different. If you saw it, that's fine. Let's watch it again. It's just 10 seconds.
Hey, Jay.
Gloria, hi. How are you?
Hi, Gloria. How are you? Oh, a beautiful dress.
I thank you, Phil.
Okay.
No, well, Phil. That's how she says Phil, not feel.
Huh.
Here we go again. Let's see if you can catch it.
Hey, Jay.
Gloria, hi. How are you? Hi,
Gloria. How are you? Oh, a beautiful dress.
I thank you, Phil.
Okay.
No, well, Phil. That's how she says Phil, not.
So, what happens? ¿Alguien me lo quiere explicar en español? ¿Qué pasó? Yes, Leo.
Ella dijo feel y feel es sentir.
¿Qué debió decir en vez de feel? Claro, dijo feel y él pues les lo tocó, pero ella quería decir su nombre como latina, pues dijo feel, pero a lo mejor era corto, no era thank you, Phil. En vez de thank you, Phil. Por eso la tocó. Bueno, it's just a little example of how if you don't pronounce well, it's going to be misunderstood, okay? Thanks a lot, Leo. Thank you everyone for being here. Now this is the end of the webinar. I hope you enjoyed and that you learned. And please let us know if you have questions on the WhatsApp group, or you can just send us a private message to the phone of the school, or you can just check the YouTube video. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good evening. See you in the next. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, teacher.
Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.